Alright guys, in this short video I'm going to go over the headline and the summary. The headline is this thing underneath your name that just basically says who you are. It should definitely not tie you to a specific job because that is the opposite of how you want to create your personal brand, as we saw in the textbook. You don't want to brand yourself as someone who belongs to a very specific company. You want to brand yourself as an independent agency that all the companies should fight over. So you can list a bunch of things here. I'm going to show you another example. This one, again, just a very basic thing, but you can have something a little bit more complex, like personal branding pioneer, motivational speaker, and author, helping professionals succeed by being themselves. So it really depends on what you're applying for, what you want to do, but senior software engineer in this case works better than where you work because it doesn't tie you to a specific place. Instead, you want to think about who you are as a person in a couple of words or phrases. What do you want people to think of you as? Okay, and that's your headline. Your summary is this part down here. And when we write a cover letter, we're summarizing all of our experience. And even though this is at the top of your profile, I want you to think about this a different way. If I'm looking at your resume or your LinkedIn profile, more than likely, I'm going to skip past this and look at all of your experience, your recommendations, your endorsements first. If I like what I see, I'll come back up here and I'll read your summary. Your summary is the place where you're going to try to remind me of everything you hope that I saw when I looked at the rest of the profile. And you're going to bring it all together. What was the most important thing in your experience section? What was the most important thing in your, education section, your skills section? And what do you want me to know about you? Okay, so this is not a great summary because it's way too short and it doesn't really tell me that much about the person. So if I read your entire resume and then I come back up here and there's only one sentence, that's not great, right? A better one, right? Engineer with 5 years experience in design, implementation, and maintenance of software using Java and C++, has a passion for learning and strong problem solving, able to quickly grasp complex systems and resolve critical issues. Hopefully, in the resume section, you gave me examples of your strong problem solving skills and your ability to grasp complex systems. But you're just reminding me that you gave me examples of that, and here are your main skills and how much experience you have. This is better, okay? Here's another example. This person can give us much more example. My specialties listed up here. That's okay. What I want you guys to do, you guys are, most of you do not have that much experience, so you're probably going to have something for your summary that looks a little bit like this. This is probably the minimum length, I would think, okay? Now, I want you to be careful, though, because a lot of advice on the internet regarding summaries can lead you in the wrong direction. And there are some people who like to tell these really long, involved stories with their summaries. And it is very good to give a sense of your personality with your summary. However, as this person does, I have a passion for learning, I get good problem solving skills, I like to resolve critical issues. I'm getting the sense that this person does not get stressed when they don't know something. They like to solve problems, right? So I'm getting a sense of their personality in addition to reminding me of the most important things from their resume. So this is good. But what other people do and what a lot of advice on LinkedIn will tell you to do is to build this really involved summary. And I want to show you an example. This is like way too long and not really appropriate. In this case, this person is a motivational speaker. So, his summary sounds kind of motivational speakery, right? So it's like he's trying to motivate me about how awesome he is and all that. And he's telling a story much like motivational speakers would on a stage. So in a sense, it is helping us understand his personality. However, he spends a lot of time going over what made him come to his job instead of recapping who he is as a person and what skills he has. So what I really want you to do is not go too crazy on the summary, telling its fantastic story or trying to be too clever or trying to impress us with your sense of humor. You can let a little bit of that out in your summary, but in your summary, again, think of it as the last thing I see. Imagine I looked at your profile, I looked at your picture, I read your headline made me want to keep reading, I skipped over your summary, and I read over your experience and your recommendations, and then I'm like, ooh, I'm interested in hiring this woman, or I'm interested in hiring this man. Let me check out their summary. And then you're going to recap from all sections of your resume, what were the most important, most impressive things you said, and what do I need to know about you as a person if I'm considering hiring you? What would you want me to know about you? And that's basically how the cover letter works too. But the summary is the same concept. So you want a headline, what do you want people to know about you in a few words, and it can be really simple, or it can be a little bit of a list like this guy. And then your summary is basically like a cover letter. What do you want to close with after I've looked at your resume? Remind me what the highlights were and make sense of them. Another way to think of the summary is as a way of organizing, because you can pull one thing you said in an experience section and one thing you said in the education section and put them together in one sentence in the summary. So you're helping me link those two little data points together, to those two little examples you gave me that appeared on completely different sections of your resume. In your summary or cover letter, you're able to pull them together in the same sentence and say, hey, this thing I learned at summer camp plus this thing I learned working at this volunteer experience, they're the same thing and they help me have this skill. Okay, so you're telling a little bit of a story about who you are and what we should pay attention to in your summary. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this helped.